Good afternoon, Amber, Blooms on the Hill, and it's Wednesday. And in difference to the weather on the weekend, it was very, very hot for 3 days. It's quite cool today. I'm still wearing shorts, but I'm actually a little chilly. We've had a little bit of rain last night, which was really good. They downplayed it a bit. It was supposed to be 10 to 20 mil, and then they changed it, of course. So we wouldn't have got as much as I would have liked. Whether or not we get a bit more this week, hopefully, fingers crossed, because some rain would be good. At the moment now, I'm just cleaning out some seed trays and the cell trays, and sorting through some of that stuff, cleaning it up a bit so that I can start some more seed sowing. So I did a little bit, started last week. I put in some feverfew, white stars feverfew, which is a bit more sort of ball shaped in the middle, and then it's got the little petals of it, really cute. I sowed some salmon rose straw flowers, and I sowed some Godisha, which was more of a peachy coloured one. So I've got some, then they actually germinate. I'll show you, it's very cute. Love it when things germinate. So I'm now starting to sow hardy annuals with spring flowers. These are all spring flowers, and I'm sowing with two weddings in mind. I have the one at the start of November, which is a big wedding, lots of pastel-y peachy colours, that sort of more warm pastel tones. So not the blue pink, not that blue toned pink, but the peachy pink, that kind of shade. And I think we'll put hopefully a bit of lemon in there. I have now seen that one of her bridesmaids' dresses is going to be blue. So I'm going to see if I can get some nigella to start, because I had normally had it around the garden, but now this season I didn't really have any, whereas the last time I've had heaps. So I might actually sow a bit more nigella. I have to get some. So we're doing that, and then I've got a wedding at the end of November, which is she wants lots of different colours, so that's great because I can put lots of different things in, bright colours, and she wants a more of a wildflower look, which is pretty easy. So things that I sow for this wedding at the start of November, there'll be still flowers left over from that, which I can use for the second wedding, and ones that won't be just a one and done like stock. There'll be other flowers that will produce more than one stem. So that's what I'm up to. I did actually buy some ranunculus the other day. I did mention it in my last video. I think hubby told me to get some. So when those columns arrive, I did say that I was going to put them in later. Normally I do them in March, and then I said I was going to plant them April and March. I meant April and May. So I think I ordered 100 columns, so I'll put them in, some in April, some in May, and see if I can get them to come later. So here we go. I don't know. They do what they like, really. So that's what I'm up to today. Now my system of seed sowing is pretty basic. I just use cell trays. These are from, oh gosh, I don't know how many years these are into, but I reuse them, clean them up and reuse them. And the bottom trays, of course, I just reuse those too. When these fall apart completely, which they will, because they do get weak, because they're just plastic. These are actually breaking, but they're still okay. I will probably try and get ones with smaller cells and do more at once, but it's working for me at the moment. Just depends. I just use a seed raising mix, nothing fancy, just from the hardware, and I tip it all out into a bucket. It makes it easier just to scoop it out of here than it does to scoop it out of the bag. So there's my scoop. Nothing really rocket sciencey about it. There's my spoon. I use to get seedlings out of seed trays. So if you're wondering about the spoon, that's what I use that for. My Sweet Williams, I actually got these out of the seed trays and have potted them on, so they're waiting to go out. I've just filled this one up. This is half full. Yeah, that's my seed. I have never done any soil blocking. I know about it a little bit, only having heard from podcasts about soil blocking. I haven't ever watched any YouTube videos or anything about it, so I'm sure it's great, but it's not something that I'm super interested in doing. But I should really have a look at it and see. The only flower farmer I know that does it nearby to me is a girl called Ellie. She's in her first season at a new little farm she's got going called Cecilia Flower Farm. She's in Currumbara, so I've seen on her Instagram she seed blocks. So if anyone does it and loves it, let me know in the comments. Oakley dokley. Here's some seeds. I think I might have shown you already. Godisha coming up. Yay. Feverfew white stars. There's some teeny tiny mini little babies coming up. Where is it? One there. And then the straw flowers. There's some little ones coming up there. So this is a good setup. This is going to work well where it's not too hot, because the greenhouse is still going to be too hot. So what I've done is I've organised my seeds into little plastic baggies, and I've written March, and I've got a baggie for April, one for May, and then there's other ones for some other months for these hardy annuals. So if you don't know, hardy annual is a seed that's an annual. So it's a plant that only lasts for one season. So an annual means it will, you sow it, it'll grow, it'll flower, it'll set seed, like it'll be pollinated, and then it means the flower will become a seed head, and it will create the seed, and it will be a fertile seed because the bees and whoever else have come in and pollinated it, fertilized it. It'll cast off its seed, the plant will die, and then the seeds are all around to grow next year for a plant. So hardy annual, the hardy part of that means that you can sow it in the autumn, and the plant is hardy enough, as the word suggests, to survive over the cooler weather, so through the winter. And then what it will do, the plant will it will start to get established through the winter and grow more roots, and then once the warm weather comes in spring, it'll take off. Okay, so there's huge benefit to planting things in the autumn. For example, I sow my sweet peas in autumn, not in spring. It means it gets them out there, gets them established, gets them going, and then as soon as the warmer weather comes, off they go. Although this season, I didn't have huge success with sweet peas. Maybe it was because where they were, they do like a lot of feed. So anyway, every year is different. So back to this, what I've done is I've got one lot of seeds for March to plant that are for the November wedding at the start of November. So we'll call it the pastel wedding, and the other wedding, which is the wildflower wedding. So I'm devoting my whole patch to these weddings and just growing for them specifically. So any flowers that come early that are available, I'll still take some bouquets down the post office potentially. I won't be cutting hard for markets, so there'll be no markets in spring, but it's just thinking about these weddings. So the varieties I've got for March, I could have run you through my seeds already. I really can't remember. I told you about the Godisha, the Feverfew, and the straw flowers, but there's sweet peas, different types of sweet pea, lots of beautiful varieties, more beautiful varieties of sweet pea. I'm going to need my glasses, I can't see anything. There is also, there's one called Elegance Ice Cream. It sounds delicious, but sweet peas are really poisonous, so don't eat them. I've got Status, which I quite like as a bit of a fillery thing. I've got, like these are straw flowers. I actually saved my own seeds. There's the Feverfew. There's some poppies. Now, I've never been really successful with poppies. I've actually ordered some more poppies, so I've got some Icelandic ones coming. And my friend Megan from Emporium Botanica, she's going to try starting some poppies for me as well, because they're quite a tricky seed. So she's actually stayed last night. She's actually borrowing my car for a couple of weeks because her van has decided to shit itself, basically. She's around at the moment, which is nice. She gardens down this way. I've got a bit more Sweet William. I don't know if I'll start that because I've already got some going. And there was a bit more Feverfew. There was one called Golden Ball, which is, as the name suggests, it's a yellowy one. And then I've got some more Status in the other one. I think that's really about the variety. Yeah, I've got some cornflowers as well. Don't love cornflowers, they drive me crazy, but that's for the wildflower wedding. So cornflowers do create that wildflower look. So I've actually bought a mix that is a pink mix. Can't remember what it's called. Cornflower, Classic Romantic. So a few different pinks in there. And I've actually got some coriander as well. So we'll see how that goes. That's from Jardin de Fleur seeds. She's actually closing down. I think she's actually sold out of all her seeds, so she's not going to be selling seeds anymore. But the coriander, if you haven't grown coriander, if you let it bolt, and it gets a very lovely little tiny weeny white flower. And my husband hates coriander. He keeps threatening to pee on it. He hasn't yet, but he hates it. And I'm not making him eat it. I put it in arrangements. And it's very fluffy and it's nice. It's a spring thing that comes. So I quite like that as a fill, and that would be good for the wildflower wedding. So that's what I've got. Now my washing machine's finished its cycle. It stopped singing at me and I can talk now. I've also got some seeds here, and this was from the wedding. I picked these roses for the wedding that I did the other week, and I didn't end up using them in wrist corsages because I wasn't too sure how well they're going to last. Of course, they're cactus now, but I also had some in a jar here. I had some celosia I picked, and piles of stuff to go to the op shop. But I had this celosia, and it sat there and I never used it, and of course it died, and then it dropped all its seed, this lovely black shiny stuff here. So I don't know if it was the flamingo feather version. It could have been a bit of that, but it was also Texas plume was definitely in there. So I'm going to save all of that seed and I'm going to plant it. Free seed. Look at that. Okay, now talking about free seed, I'm also going to try and save some of my amaranth seeds. So this is what's left of my amaranth. I didn't pinch it out, I was dumb. I could have had a heap more, but I'm going to see if I can get save some of the seed from this so that I can have some of that. And in terms of my zinnias, I'd like to save some seed from that as well. I'm very tempted to actually buy a book. It's a zinnia breeding book, and have a go at breeding some zinnias, and even look at crossing them and trying to get colours that I really want. I don't know anything about it at all, so that could be a bit of a project. I generally don't like zinnias. I've got past videos from last year and I'm here talking about how I hate them, but I don't know. They're such a good, they're such a big flower. Like, I like these big variety. That one's all blown out in the centre, but such a big flower like this one, for example. I don't like the tiny ones, but I like them like that. But I'd really like some more wedding based colours, so that's a possibility in looking at that. The other things I want to do is I'm going to start tagging some of my dahlias. Now they need about 6 weeks for the seed to ripen, so I could be a bit late, but I want to, there's so much going on all the time that it's always difficult to get everything done. But what I was planning on doing is I mark specific dahlias that I want to take seed from, and I really like the more ball varieties because they last a lot longer in a vase. They're much better to work with in an arrangement when you're trying to do bouquets and things. One of my heifers out there looks like she's died. She hasn't, she's just having a snooze. One of Roxy's calves, she's like lying on her side. Sorry, getting distracted by cows again. That's so funny. They lay flat out. Animals lay flat out to sleep, and you think they're dead, but they're not. Anyway, I was wanting to save seeds from some of the more ball varieties that I like, particularly these more weddingy colours, and the blushy pinks and that sort of thing, and the peach colours and the whites particularly. So what I do is I put a little bit of ribbon on the stem of a flower and just leave them and let the bees do their job. So the ribbon is there so I know not to pick it, and then you let it go to seed. So it'll form a little seed head. I'll show you what a seed head looks like in comparison to a bud, and then you'd leave it there, and you really want to leave it there for 6 weeks and try and get ripe seed out of it. So it does have to sit there for quite a number of weeks. But let's look for a seed head. There should be one somewhere. I discovered I've been quite thorough in my deadheading lately, so there's quite a lot of, I found one. I'll show you. I just still quite sulky about the fact that I had the sprinkler going the other day all day because it was so hot, and then it's made all my flowers really dirty. All the white ones are dirty. Anyway, that little bit of rain hasn't cleaned anything up, and I don't think it will. My gomphrena is well and truly stained, and I hardly used it. Arrgh, annoying. This dahlia here is I think it might be a orchid variety. So that's it going to a seed head. So it becomes very pointy, like that. That one's a dry, crappy one, but seed head, very easily distinguished. Oh, there's another one here. There we go. So it's quite pointy, and that's very easily distinguished from a bud, which is a bowl shape. So, and then of course that one is starting to pop its petals, but your bud is a ball. And that's easy to remember. B for bud, B for ball. And then, yeah, your seed head is that little, looks like a, I don't know, an animal's snout or something. So easy, easy. Okay, I'm saving some Nigella seeds. So I'm just collecting them at the moment. I'll show you. All right, that's a hydrangea, obviously. And there's some dried Nigella seed pods. So if you just pick those, and then the end bit here very easily opens up. Open that up with one hand and you can see the black seeds inside. So easy. Just put those in the envelope and then sow them for next year. Okay, so back to the idea of seed saving. Got my celosia seed, thinking about that amaranth and potentially zinnias. So the bonuses of seed saving is that you get free seed. Yay. It is lovely to buy new seed, so I think I always will be buying new seed, and new varieties come out too, so that's also good. And you'd like to support, you know, family companies and things, particularly like my favorite veggie and flower garden seeds, love them. But seed saving costs you money. Also too, you can get unusual varieties. So like, as I said with the zinnias, you can start breeding your own. So you can do your own crosses, or you will get, of course, bees flying from flower to flower. And by carrying the pollen as they go on their little feet and everything, they can create different varieties that way by cross-pollination. So you can end up with your own varieties. So same with the dahlias. The zinnias are a lot easier. You can get results apparently a lot quicker because they're only diploid, is that the word? So there's not as many chromosomes as the dahlias that have eight chromosomes. So 8 to the power of 8 is the chance of what are you going to get? You get this 8 times 8 times 8, 8 times as what are we going to get when we have a cross with your dahlias. So people couldn't do them by hand. You get little paint brushes and all that. I've never done that, but I just let the bees do it. I didn't save seed last year, but it's fun because you don't know what you're going to get. So that's when you can create your own varieties. So that's the fun thing. Also too, when you say sow your own seeds that you've saved, you can get varieties of plants that become better adapted to your climate in your region. So as far as I'm aware, that's what I was told and when I can remember that. Yeah, but you get things that yeah, will just do better. So so I suppose a more hardy variety that will do well in your, because everyone's climate is different, but everyone's climate is incredibly personal. So it's not just where I am in Australia or where I am in Victoria, but also where I am in Budgeree, and sometimes even, you know, a house just down the road and around the corner, their really local climate, their absolute microclimate can be different from mine. So that could be depend on where, maybe marginally higher, you know, whatever reason. I mean, where we are, we don't really get a frost, so that's a factor. You know, we could get a lot of wind, so there's plants that do and don't grow here, or whatever the reason. So yeah, your individual microclimate could be just even different from your neighbour because their soil could change too. That's the other thing. So lots of things to consider. So yeah, saving seed is a really, really good thing to do. And so you can start to ferret out too, colours that you don't want of things. You might save only seed colours of, if you buy a mix of something, you can only get a mix, then you might only save the seed from the pink ones and forget about the purple ones. And then, you know, you can tailor things to your needs. So it's really, really worthwhile. It is, of course, another one of those things that you got to do and got to think about. So this time of the year is a busy time. You think, oh, the garden's starting to wind down now, those dahlias are starting to finish up and everything else, and can stop harvesting so hard. But Now I'm starting to think, of course, about the next season. So still harvesting, still doing markets, still got bouquet orders this Friday, and then now we're sowing seed for next season. So, and then of course starting to worry about the next lot of weddings. So it's a busy time. It never really ends. But anyway, I'll show you some seed sowing. Oakley dokley. So the seeds are all different, which is always fun. I've got some status in my hand at the moment, and you can see these seeds, they're like, the colour of them makes them look like spider legs, but they're little long oblong-y shaped things. That's the status. And let's have a look at something completely different. This is sweet pea, so really large. And then you can get the tiny, say, I won't open it up because it'll go absolutely everywhere, the poppy seed, which is like dust. Another one that's a bit like that is snapdragons. It's like dust. It's very small, very fine. Probably everyone's seen sunflower seeds. They're really large as well. So they're all very different, and each different type of seed requires a different method of sowing. So I guess you do shove them all in the ground, but some seeds need light to germinate. Some need darkness, like phlox, for example. So you really need to read what it says, excuse me, on the packet of seeds in regards to sowing, what you have to do to sow. Some of them need a bit of stratification, which means that they need a period of cold before you sow. No, sorry about this. A period of cold before you actually sow them, which that would include larkspur. That's one of them. I've never really successfully managed to start larkspur. I have a couple of plants and then they died. That was dumb. But yeah, they all need, the stratification is you just put your seeds in the freezer for a couple of weeks before you sow them. Chocolate lace is the same. You do it with that. Yeah, so that's different. I'll show you the straw flower, for example. Probably can't see it, but there's still some straw flower seeds. This one here, for example, it looks like a little oh, you can't really see it very well, a little, just above my finger, a little brown chocolate 100,000 sort of. Oh, here's one here on the side, like that there. Straw flowers need light to germinate, so you're just putting them on top of the soil and then giving them a little gentle press into the soil so they make contact with it, and that's what they require. So if you put them down too deep, they're not going to germinate at all. So seed packets should tell you how many millimeters deep that they need to go in. All right, so I'm going to squat a bit because I'm actually too tall for my video thing. Something that never happens. I'm going to put in, I think, some status. So annoying not being able to see. And yeah, I'm going to try and spread them across as finely as I can, rather than just like doing a random scatter. It is easier in the long run if you can get them so that they're not like all massive clump of seeds. I like to tip them in my hand. Sometimes I would put them on a little plate, depending on the size of the seeds. Like a really small seed, like poppies, for example, putting them on a little dish and using a toothpick, so wetting the toothpick, even if it's just sticking it on your tongue, and then picking up the seeds with the end of the toothpick is a really handy way to do it. These ones I can actually pick up this status, so I'm going to try and put 2 in each seed tray. Now it doesn't tell me, thinking about the depth of seed, how it says spacing 30 centimeters, depth 6 millimeters. Okay, so they need to sort of be poked down. So 6 millimeters is not that far. I can't see because the light, that's better, it's coming from that way. So look, I'm putting 2 in each cell tray. I probably should maybe just do 1, but I'd be able to separate those like when the little seedlings come up, should be able to separate those 2 fairly easy. So look, it's not rocket science, but you just have to read the instructions. Sometimes they don't have how far, like you need to sow them down. So the seed collection, that website, seedcollection.com.au, they are very good in their description section. You look up the seed and the particular plant, and it will give you a description of when to sow and then of course how deep to sow and how far to space the plants. And now I'm losing track of what I've done. I've done those ones. So yeah, it's all there for you. You just need to look for it. So this is it, really. It's not hugely difficult, not very exciting, so I won't make you watch any more of it. But sowing seeds is good. It's cheaper than buying in seedlings. You also get a bit of variety too. I've never bought plugs. There's a company called Ball Australia. I think you obviously have to be registered wholesale buyer from them. I've never done that. I suppose if I was growing more things, I would. It would be dearer. It would also make this is, time consuming. But if you're sowing lots and lots and lots and lots of things, that's where that would come in absolute handy. So anyway, I'll keep going with this and I'll catch up in a sec. Right, I'll just adjust you. Whoops, sorry. Now I've done that tray. Make sure you label. I like to reuse my labels, so if one side's done, I'll scribble that out and write on the other. I just get little plastic plant labels. These get brittle after a while, mostly when they've been outside jabbed in the ground, because they're just plastic, but that's fine, whatever. Yeah, so label them straight away. I will write the variety and the name. So that one that was a white one. I've got to find the thing now. Where was it? The open one. It was status seeker white, so I'll write that on there and I'll put the date. So it's the 13th of the 3rd. So I know when I've sown it. Then I will give it a bit of water. And depends how deep they are, you could just get your watering can. But it's probably better to use a spray bottle. But particularly use this if they're surface sown. So for example, your straw flowers that need the light to germinate, you'll end up just blasting them everywhere if you use a watering can or a hose. So giving a spritz is very time consuming, which is often why I will end up using a watering can myself, but I'm conscious of what seeds I've put in. This one's not working very well. And how I need to water it. The other thing you can do is bottom water. So get a solid tray on the bottom. This has actually got holes in the bottom, so not this one. And then put water in the bottom and it will soak up through the bottom. So bottom water is good for things like poppies. So things that are like dust that are going to absolutely positively blow away if you do this. Even the spraying is too much. So your seed raising mix or whatever you're using will like to stay damp, and if things dry out too much, then that's not good. The other thing about sowing seeds and them germinating is different seeds would want a different temperature. Depends on the plant. So that's the other thing. I did wonder about the seeds I sowed the other day, these ones that are here, if they were actually going to germinate okay, because we've just had these few really hot days, and there was a couple of hot days the week before. So I only did 3 trays. I didn't do more because I was a bit worried, and I was thinking it's too hot, it's either going to kill them or they're just going to sit there and not do anything. Or of course if it's too cold, they're not going to germinate either. But I kind of debunked that theory a little bit, because these have come up actually quite well, but maybe it was just the right temperature through the night. That could have been it as well. So, seeds want to grow. That's the thing. It's not really that hard. Some things are harder than others to germinate. Yes, me and poppies, no luck so far, but we'll see how we go this year. I've tried phlox before, no luck there either. So I think people have got the knack, and there is a bit of a skill to it, but they do, in essence, plants want to grow, seeds want to germinate. So that you've got that on your side. If you're new to sowing seeds, it's heaps of fun. It's really like when they grow, it's like, yay, look what I did. I made a plant. So try it, but if you haven't done it, don't start with things like poppies or snapdragons, because it'll be very disheartening when they don't germinate, if that's what's going to happen. Snapdragons take forever to germinate. Once they get going, they really get going, but you don't want to be staring at it for ages. So maybe try something like a sunflower or a zinnia or a cosmos, and they're much easier to start. So it just gives you that little bit of encouragement to, you know, to keep going once you've had a bit of a go. So anyway, I will write a label for that with my Sharpie, and make sure I'm going to do this without my glasses on like an idiot. Status seeker white, 13th of the 3rd, whack it in the tray. Here we go, done. So, and then that probably really needs to be a little bit more moist than that. Such a good word, moist. And moist. Anyway, and it's not working very well. It needs more water in it. But I just, you know, every time I go past, I tend to give them a bit of a spritz. Now, the trouble with over here, this isn't perfect being there, because things are actually starting to grow towards the light. I'll show you. These little seedlings here have come up and they've got a bit of a curve on them because they are actually growing towards the light. So the benefit of having a greenhouse is they'll grow up nice and straight. So this is not ideal. I could rotate them. So like this, very carefully. And get them, perhaps they'll get a bit of a lean the other way. But this is sort of my system at the moment, because I could put things out here, but you know, they're going to get the rain really bashing on them if it does happen to rain, the sun on them, which is going to be a bit too much, and of course the greenhouse is just too hot at the moment. Everything fries over there at the moment, so this is what's happening here. Okay, now often I break it up and then I'll sow something different so I don't get bored of the one seed. I was thinking about just doing some sweet peas now, but sweet peas, it does say to soak them overnight, so you soak your seeds. Now, I was listening to a podcast and a lady that grows a lot of sweet peas. It's Marin from the Farmhouse Flower Farm, and she's on Instagram, and she's very successful flower farmer. She grows lots of sweet peas. Apparently she's writing a book, or when's it coming out? I think next year. Anyway, sidetracked. Her comments on this podcast about sweet peas was that it doesn't really make any difference soaking the seeds, but I think I will, because I want to give everything as good a chance as possible. It does say to do it. I've done it before and I've not done it before. So last season I didn't, the season before I did. So, but I think I will this time. So I will just I've got some jars. I've got little jars everywhere, and I will just put one, I won't mix them up. I'll put a variety. I've got a few packets of this Elegance ice cream one. There's some other different varieties there. Pop the seeds in, pop a little bit of water in, write a label, pop that in with them, which will eventually go into the tray with the seeds when I plant them. And I'll just leave these overnight. So hopefully I'll get the chance to sow them tomorrow. I don't want to leave them too much longer. But I also need to buy some more seed raising mix too. So that could be tomorrow's job. So yeah, so those I'll soak. So yeah, as I said, seeds, when what you do with them, they're all different. So I'm just going to keep plugging with this, and I will leave it there. So good luck with any seed sowing, anyone that's doing any hardy annuals. I know on the other side of the world, up in the Northern Hemisphere, people are doing spring things at the moment, like sowing things for spring and putting some tender annuals in. I'm sure you're starting to do that. So good luck with you guys as well, and you'll be planning things out for spring. Can't think of spring. You guys are thinking of spring and I'm thinking of next spring. Anyway, cool. I'll catch up with you another time. See ya.